morning to all the participants, and today we are going to do the next concept of fractions. We have done making fractions, we have done addition and subtraction of fractions, we have done multiplication of fractions over the last several sessions. Today we are going to discuss division of fractions. Now we know that fractions was not a new subject. Fractions arises out of division. And we also discussed that ratios are fractions. Every fraction is a ratio. We know how to make and look at ratios. We know how to make and look at problems in division. So this session is going to be just a revision of many of the problems that we solved in the earlier sessions. Since fractions is something that comes out of division, division of fractions is a very easy subject, as you will see. All that we need to do is to look at what is being divided as a ratio, and when we look at it as a ratio, things become rather clear. So let us begin by a small exercise with ratios. What I'm going to do is I'm going to set up a ratio on the slate. As you know, this is the top slate, this is the bottom slate, and I'm going to set up a problem by putting something on the top slate which is being divided by something on the bottom slate. So this upon this is equal to, and here I write 1. Can you see the problem? Dhyan Jyoti, what should I write here?
2.
2. Alright, now I can say that 4 upon 2 as a ratio is the same as 2 upon 1 as a ratio. These two ratios are the same. Now I'm going to change the problem. I'm going to write 3 here in the bottom. So, Nandita, what should I write here?
6.
6. This is what we have done in the earlier session. We know how to look at ratios. We compare what is there in the top slate with what is there in the bottom slate. Having done that now, I'm going to pose a problem, and you have to make that in your slates using the various forms for making fractions. Let us recall that these rods were our unit in length, right? And these squares are a unit in area. So sometimes we will take this as our unit, sometimes we will take this as our unit, and today we will also be using a new unit which we have not used much earlier, but just to make it clear that we can work with different wholes, with different units. Now, this may also be our unit in some problems. So, let's begin with this as our unit. I am going to take this and I am going to divide this into 3 equal parts. So, Gyan Jyoti, what do I have in my hand?
1 by 3.
1 by 3. Okay. So now I am placing this problem, this upon this, and I am going to write 1 here. Do you see the problem? Now, Gyan Jyoti, what should I write here?
3.
3, because this is 3 times that, right? Now, I want you to take the slate. On your slate, write this also. This divided by this, write this in numbers. This is, what is this now?
Whole.
So what would you write? What will you write on top? This is my
Whole.
So for whole, what is the number that I write?
1.
1. So this is 1 upon
1 by 3.
Write it. And that is equal to 1 upon 1 by 3 is equal to 3 upon 1. Okay. Now let me give another problem. I now divide my whole into 2 equal parts. And I keep this Nandita, what should I write here now?
2.
2. So now write this all in numbers in your slates. Okay. So now, keeping this in mind, I'm going to write a problem and you have to tell me the answer. Now I'm not going to make it, I'm going to write it. In my slate, I'm going to write 1 divided by 1 by 6. So, Gyan Jyoti, what should I write here? When it was 1 by 2, I got 2 upon 1. When it was 1 divided by 1 by 3, I got 3 upon 1. Now I am saying 1 divided by 1 by 6. What should I write here?
6.
6. Right? So this is the general rule that we have discovered by working with some examples. So now let's go on to some slightly more difficult examples. Again, I'm going to write 1 here and keep it there. And this is my bottom slate. This is my top slate. Top slate divided by bottom slate. I'm going to give you a problem which you have to make in your top slate and your bottom slate. So can you just show the camera which is your top slate, Nandita? Oh, that's on the left side, and the bottom slate on the left side is that one. Top slate on the right side is that, and the bottom slate is that, and you have got an equal sign. So you have to make the ratios as equal. Okay. So make this in your left hand slate with things. Okay, use this as your 1. Alright, and make this problem. And Gyanjyoti, take the chalk, write 1 in the bottom slate on the right hand side. What should you write on the top slate?
3.
Look, compare it. If the bottom slate is 1, what is the top slate?
2.
2, right? Because what is on the top slate is twice what is there in the bottom slate. You have 3 in total, but what is on the top slate is this number here, 2 by 3. So 2 by 3 divided by 1 by 3 is equal to something upon something. Please write that on your slate, complete the equation. Is equal to 2 by 3 divided by 1 by 3 is equal to 2 by 1. Okay. Now we will do a bit of revision about the long form and the short form. Again, I take my 1 and I divide it into now 4 equal pieces. So Gyanjyoti, what is there in my slate?
1 by 4.
1 by 4. Now what is there in my slate?
2 by 4.
2 by 4. Can you keep in your slate 5 by 4? You have 1/4 pieces there, so keep 5 by 4 in your slate. Very good. Put those pieces back, and Nandita, in your slate, take that slate which is there before her, and your slate, keep 3 by 2. That's 3 by 2. Okay, that's all revision. Now, having done that revision, we revised ratios, we revised long form and short form. Now, I am going to give you a problem. I'm going to set it up here, and you have to write the problem. Again, let me tell you what are the pieces that I am making. I am taking my 1 and I am dividing it into 3 equal pieces. Can you see the problem? So what is in my top slate, Janjoti?
1.
1. And what is in my bottom slate?
2 by 3.
2 by 3. Okay. So now, can you tell me what is the answer, Nandita? Just by looking at it, what do you think the answer looks like? The answer becomes very clear if I cut this into equal pieces. So, what does it look like, the answer? If I cut this,
3 upon 2.
3 upon 2, right? Because how many pieces are there here? Like this. How many pieces are there like this?
3.
3. And here down there are
2.
2. So, if I write 2 there, then here I have to write 3. So now write this all in numbers in your slate, Jnanjyoti. Okay. Keep that slate, don't erase it, keep it as it is, turn the slate around, and now I'm going to do another problem. I'm going to again make a problem here. I keep 1 on top, But now I am keeping, remember these are 1 by 4, so I am keeping 3 of these pieces here. So what is in the top slate?
1.
What is in the bottom slate?
3 by 4.
3 by 4. So can you tell me, if I write 3 here, what should I write here?
4.
4. Because if I write 3 here, it means that each of these is 1. If each of these is 1, then these are 3 here. But then, if each of these is 1, then there are 4 such pieces here. So it is 4 by 3. Can you write that now? Can you write this in numbers? Okay. So, Nandita, take the slate and look at both sides of the slate. Show both sides of the slate to the camera. And what is the rule that you can see when you look at these two examples? Can you describe the rule?
That we are turning the fraction around and writing it as the answer.
Right. If I divide 1 by a fraction, that is equal to the fraction turned around. Right? So earlier, remember we saw 1 divided by 1 by 3 was? Remember, we did the problem 1 divided by 1 upon 3.
Four by 1.
Let's do it. Remember, we just did this earlier. Okay?
3 by 1.
3 by 1. Correct. 1 divided by 1 by 2 was?
2 by 1.
2 by 1. 1 divided by 1 by 6 was?
6 by 1.
6 by 1. So I just invert the fraction. I write 1 by 6, I write it as 6 by 1. Now we see that 1 divided by 2 by 3 is 3 by 2. I just invert it. So that's all that there is to division. And by doing these examples, by understanding ratios, by understanding long form, short form, we put it all together and we were able to write the answers. Now let's do the same problem by changing my 1, and now instead of this one, I am going to use the circle as my 1. Okay, so take your circles. Can you make halves? Nandita make halves, and Janjoti make 1/3. Okay. So Nandita, show in your hand the halves that you have made, and Gyanjyoti, show your 1/3. Gyanjyoti has used a certain method to make the 1/3 from the circle. Let me show you what it is. Okay, I think what she did was, first she made halves and then she folded each half into 3 equal parts. So actually then the whole circle gets divided into 6 equal parts. And then what she did was to take 2 of these 1/6 parts, and that was your 1/3. So you get 3 equal parts. So now what I have done, I'm going to keep this as it is. So what is in my left hand?
1/3.
What is in my right hand?
2/3.
2/3. Now let me give a problem. Nandita, what is the answer?
2/1.
2/1. So now in that slate, can you write down all this in numbers? Show that to the camera. So 2/3 divided by 1/3 is equal to 2/1. Now let me do one more problem which we had done earlier. Remember, we had done this one earlier. So, what is this?
2/3.
2/3. If this is 1. So, if this is 1 and this is 2/3, and I write 2 down here, it means that there are 2 parts of something here. What should I write up here?
3.
3. There are 3 parts up there. So I can write this, what we had written earlier, 1 divided by 2/3 is equal to 3/2. The same problem, but we did it using circles as our units, as our ones. Earlier we did it using rods as our ones. So we have done a number of examples, and I think now we can understand what is division. In our next session, we will look at multiplication and division and understand a very important procedure, which is the procedure known as cancellation. We have understood fractions. We have understood how to add, how to subtract, how to multiply, how to divide, what is the ratio, what is the long form, what is the short form. To put all this together, when we are actually working with fractions while solving problems, there is a procedure known as cancellation. This we will do in our next session. Once we understand cancellation, then we have completely covered all the important areas of fractions. So there is only one thing left. We have understood all the concepts. There's a procedure of cancellation, which we will do next time. Thank you.